So hi, I am Diego Magdaleno or Magdaleno, how you would pronounce it in Spanish. I am Mexican, and um, I wanted to record this. It's not my first time I'm recording a video for the internet. In fact, I have had kind of a lot of YouTube channels over the time. I remember I had one with about Geometry Dash and another one about technology. So yeah, it isn't my first time doing this either. And as you can see, the lighting is kind of fucked. There is no way to fix that. Not that I really care because there is not a lot that is going to be happening on screen. It's just going to be me talking. And this video is more for me. And well, if someone is interested in what I do in the future, they can go back, or I can go back in the future and watch this. Why I decided to record this? Well, mainly, let me take this off. Okay, that's nice. Let me fix it a bit. Okay, there we go. Why did I decide to record this? That's a great question. You might see the title and see why I'm developing my own OS or why I'm developing Utopia. And you are going to be like, wow, that's a very non-interesting title. But this video is more about it's more personal than that. It's not just about writing an operating system from scratch. It's about finding purpose and inspiration in my life. See, before the pandemic, I had quite some high hopes for the future, for my future. I had plans like, I don't know, living in Germany eventually. I had plans. I had a lot of plans. I wasn't kind of overweight, as you can tell by my huge cheeks. I am kind of overweight right now. I am 4 kilos up of what I should be, and I don't really like gaining weight. And I just came out of high school. I am 18 years old. I just started my studying computer engineering. I just started studying. Well, this is my second semester really, but anyway. I had high hopes for the future, like the song, like the high hopes for a living. Yeah, that one. After the pandemic hit at the start, it was amazing, because I was like, hey, I had this much time to work on stuff that I care about, to code, to do whatever. But after 2 years of this bullshit, after 2 years of more and more variants, and I am vaccinated, by the way, and my family is vaccinated. After all this bullshit, I am just tired. I have gained weight, I feel unmotivated, and I feel kind of alone, even if I have friends. Or well, I feel kind of alone and broken. So I decided to find a passion, and more than a passion, I decided to find an excuse for stopping being the way I am right now. I want to lose weight, but I don't exercise a lot. I refuse to do it, and even if I try to, I have some machinery outside. I don't do it because there is no real motivation. Before, my motivation was maybe I'm going to meet some girl, or I'm not going to lie, boys will be boys. But now, because of that pandemic, because of that, I really lost a lot of motivation, and even university doesn't motivate me quite a lot. And I am on engineering, so there is no girls, and we can go to the campus either, so I can meet other people. And that's just frustrating. And I am tired of that. So I decided, you know what? I want my voice to be heard again. Even if it is one people, even if nobody hears it. I want to say what I think. I want to do it. I want to find something else that gives me purpose. And that's how I decided to revive an old dream of mine. which, as stupid as it sounds, is writing a full operating system. I know it is extremely dumb and stupid and impossible, maybe. Well, not impossible. I have seen people do it. I have quite, but still very hard, right? So I'm not going to give up in life, because I have never given up, even in darker times. But without a motive, without a reason, life is empty, right? So I decided I am going to change it. I'm going to lose weight firstly, to get rid of this. My goal is to make at least 1 commit a day, or 2 commits a day in GitHub for the project. And to write something, to do something great. Even if we live forever like this, I need something to love, something to feel passionate about. Else the human mind just goes crazy. And without a purpose, it all feels so automatic, so bland. Right? So that's why I started video blogging. To just show the world, hey, this is me, and I'm writing this thing. And I hope you think it's cool. If you don't think it is cool, okay. If you say he's clueless, he's dumb, okay. I don't care. It is my operating system, and it is a little dream I have. So that's why I am doing this. I want to be happy again and experience purpose again. I have a cell phone camera. This is a Huawei Mate 40 Pro. So maybe it improves over the time. I don't know. I don't care. But you might be here because of the title. Why is he writing an operating system? Yeah, right. Why am I writing an operating system? Okay, let's start. Why? And now that you know I am reviving an old dream, we need to know why or when did that dream even happen, right? Well, I was in middle school when I was already into programming. I was like 12, 13 years old. For some context, here in Mexico, since I am Mexican, I live here in Mexico. I am not an immigrant or anything. I don't know, there can be sometimes some stereotypes, Whatever, I don't really care. If you do some stereotype of dumb shit, I probably will laugh along with it. I don't really give a fuck. Because some are true. As a Mexican, I can say we do fit 20 people in one car. And it is kind of funny. Anyway, I have some stories about that. They are kind of crazy. I was like 8 years old. Anyway, here in Mexico, you have middle school, which is called middle school. But here in Mexico, it is 3 years. So you have first, second, and third. And then you have high school, which is again first, second, and third. And for Americans watching, you guys have 4 years of high school and 2 years of middle school. Here it is 3 and 4. No, well, 3 and 3, sorry. So I was like 12, and I was in second grade of middle school. And I was like, I was already interested in programming and that stuff anyway. And there was this teacher named Gabriel, whatever the fuck. He gave physics. No, ethics, physics? I don't care. I don't remember. And I don't know why, but in one of his classes we had to do a project that was a proposal to change humanity. And I was like, oh, that's kind of interesting. I want to change humanity. Like every 12-year-old does. I want to change humanity. I want to change the way things work. So I decided there were some really cool projects. You didn't have to actually do it. Just like a grade of a proof and a image, a proof of concept, whatever. But I wanted to actually do it. And I had that dream of creating an operating system that was named Blizzard OS. And the idea was it was a responsive operating system. What responsive meant in my mind and in my context was that you could have an interface for a desktop application, and when you shrink it to a cell phone format, like I don't have my other cell phone. at hand. But for example, in a watch, this is a Huawei watch. If you put it will show a different interface here, right? Like that, but it was the same app. Anyway, that was an idea. That was what I call Blizzard OS with responsive technology, and that it will also, for example, adapt. It was really spyware. He will adapt and be like, hey, I remember hearing his favorite color is green, so the whole interface was in the accent color was green. Things like that. It was a kind of a dumb idea now that I think about it, but that was when I said. The company name was Trip Technologies, the fictional company was that. That's when I said, you know what, I'm going to create my own operating system, and I did. Except it was just a modified Ubuntu ISO, and the video to download it is probably still out there, but I'm not going to find it because I made a tutorial on how to install it. Anyway, that was the start of the dream. Now. How did I actually start writing Utopia? Because they don't seem related. And you're right, they are not directly related. Well, let me put the headphones aside. I don't know why I have ADHD, whatever you pronounce it. I'm going to be grabbing stuff, whatever. Nobody cares. I was part of the iOS jailbreaking community. You may know it. Everyone knows it probably. Basically, iPhones are locked down, so you unlock them, whatever the fuck. And for Macs, there is no package manager, there is graphical. Now, there is something named Cakebrew, I think, and now it's Sileo. Congratulations to the Atrus for porting Sileo to the Mac. That would have been a dream come true. If you even remember me, I remember the Atrus. That's his name, the Atrus. I don't know how you pronounce it. Anyway, I was working with this dude, the Atrus, and another dude named Ultra, and my friend Nikan Radan, I think. Sorry, I don't remember. He was my best friend in the internet. And yeah, sorry, I'm not 20, I'm not 21. I'm an 18-year-old. Surprise. Because I lied about my age quite a lot in the internet at that time. I was like 15 or 16 when I started that project. And I was like, yeah, I am 20. But anyway, it doesn't matter. Basically, we were trying to we ported APT for the Mac. That was very cool. That was very insane. It wasn't insane. It's a Unix-like operating system. It wasn't that hard even. It was POSIX. But there was a problem. You see, when you port APT, you normally require some patches. And these patches have quite a bit of problems. First one, the major problem with the patches is that every time there is a new version of APT, you need to take your patches and patch it. And take it and patch it. And it's a cycle. So during this time, I had a friend named, Ultra was part of the Polar team, is how this thing was named, Polar team. And this dude was like, you know what, let's rewrite APT in Rust. And I was like, yeah, that's a dope idea. Well, he didn't want Rust, he wanted C. But I was like, you know what, you're going to rewrite C software in C? Might as well just contribute to it. Well, APT, C++, whatever, doesn't matter. So I decided to make it on Rust. And it was like October, December of 2018. And I decided that the name, the code name, because the theme was Polar, named Polar Team, the name was going to be Winter, what's the name? Here's how things start. So anyway, I was in a jailbreak server a year later after eventually the project simply failed, and I just remembered the name and what the idea was. But in 2019, before my life was ruined by coronavirus, in November of 2019, I was in this jailbreaking server with some old friends, like I think his name Fahrenheit, it is spelled incorrectly, Fahrenheit, and some other people, Spencer, whatnot. I was with these people hanging out, And they started memeing, you know what, if your package manager is truly compatible with apt, or well, that was the plan, why don't you bring it to Linux and you make your own Linux distribution? We're going to call it Diego Linux. And they started memeing about it, and I started memeing too. Oh, Diego Linux is going to be so good. Diego Linux is going to have this feature. Diego Linux is going to... Until it wasn't a meme. Okay, so... you know when Apple released Big Sur? That shit is horrible. I didn't like the interface, I didn't like the new designs, the new internals, that now DYLD had a cache. So many stupid bullshit. I was like, this is bullshit. I'm going to migrate. And this is how I end up buying this bad boy here. Well, this bad boy here, which is a MateBook from Huawei. And my desktop PC, which is the bad boy here, to migrate from macOS, because I said, you know what, fuck it. And I started using Windows with WSL. It didn't really cut it, because it has some quite interesting problems. Because there is no systemd, and you know that Linux is part of the systemd operating system. Is a kernel that powers systemd. Nah, that's a joke. Systemd, it didn't have systemd, it didn't have any... whatever bullshit. I was like, nah, you know, this is bullshit. I'm going to switch to Fedora. I installed Fedora on this thing. It runs amazingly with the specifications this thing has. It runs smooth as butter, I would say. I installed Fedora, whatever, I don't care. I installed Fedora, cool little operating system, and I was hooked again, because I used Linux in the past. But it improves so much with Wayland, with whatever, his name, Pipewire, with Pipewire Wayland. Wine was a lot more complete. I was just hooked, but I said, you know what? This doesn't feel like a thing I will do if I designed an operating system. This wouldn't be it. And it wouldn't be macOS, and it wouldn't be Windows. It would be a completely different thing. And I remember Diego Linux meme. I remember my dreams as a toddler to write my own operating system. And I was like, you know what, let's do it. Let's do it. I have been programming for quite a lot, and I still don't know a lot of things. I probably know less than you, the one that is watching this video. I am very bad at programming. I will consider myself bad. But I decided, you know what, I'm going to do it. I'm going to write my own operating system. I'm going to pick up the Linux kernel, because I don't want to do... Here's a little secret. I don't want to do a kernel because it's fucking impossible and insane. But I can pick up a kernel, and the userland, I decided I was going to take some BSD parts here and there, and I have ported software from what platform already, apt to Mac, and the BSD core utils to Mac, and you will say, what? Because Mac is BSD. Well, it isn't BSD, the userland is BSD, and the kernel is Match, and they created this weird thing called CNU, which is a kernel, which is part BSD, part Match. And then you have the BSD userland, which is Darwin, and their LaunchD, whatever. But you need to port it, because they have derived quite a lot over 20 or plus years, you know. And I have also experienced porting things to Linux, like just taking software, trying to compile it, and seeing, oh, you know what, is missing this call, it is missing this symbol, it is missing this function that might not be native to the operating system, but you can implement it if you do it like this. It is trying to do that, whatever. I'm going to use the BSD userland. Well, the utility is the shell, but I can't just stay there, because then it will be another shitty Linux distro that someone did on a weekend, and it's like, you know what, this is the BSD userland. It isn't really the BSD userland. You just replace it some GNU utils with BSD equivalents you probably took from some other project on GitHub. By the way, you can check Crantel. Sorry if you ever watch this, I doubt it. But his core utils are great. In fact, I started working on my port based on his port a while ago. My port is dead because I am not working on Utopia. Even the name reflects it. Utopia, an utopian operating system. And now it has been 20 minutes and you might be wondering, well, what the fuck is Utopia? And here is what is Utopia. Utopia is exactly that. An utopia, my dream operating system, how I will do an operating system, how things will work. Based on the Linux kernel. Let's not forget that it's based on the Linux kernel. Now, this is comparable to maybe writing some shitty web application. To what I am doing, it isn't really that great. It's probably going to suck. But the idea is there. Okay, so what do I mean when I say writing an operating system? I mean writing an operating system. The libc, the utilities, which are going to be the libc is going to be based off of muscle libc, and then we have the BSD core utils, okay, and then the Utopia stack. Okay, so I want to start talking about why is Utopia going to be different. Why is not just a Linux distro? Because it probably is. You are going to be like, hey, that's just Linux, and you are right, but you are wrong. Okay, first I want to start with the file system hierarchy. Okay, so if you haven't checked out this amazing project by some folks at Brazil named Global Linux, I think that's a parent, or Google Linux, I don't know. Check it out. It is a very amazing concept that is basically, you have the operating system and they split it into, you have the file system hierarchy. Now, in case you don't know what that is the file hierarchy standard, sorry. It is the thing that is bin, etc, bar, the things that the subdirectories are root, those are the how it's structured. If you ls right now in root, like you do cd slash and then you ls, you write ls in your terminal, you're going to see bin, etc, user, whatever the fuck. Imagine, okay, now that's not really intuitive for a new user. When I started using Linux, I remember seeing bin, etc, bar, and I was so confused. I was like, what does this mean? Doesn't make kind of sense, you know? Then you learn, you know, what bin stands for binaries, include stands for the keyword of the preprocessor when it uses to include alpha file into C, so all headers go there. User used to be for users, but now it is for software that should be installed on the system, and user local is for local software, blah 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 blah. OPT is for vendor software, whatever that means. I know what it means, but you get the idea. And I was like, when I saw Global Linux, which has, for example, instead of ATC, it is named system/settings, and instead of bin, you have a symlink to system index bin, and system index bin itself contains symlinks to applications that are installed in each folder directly. And I was like, that idea is so great. I want to use that, but I found quite a few things I didn't like about Global Linux. One was that the boot was inside, that the boot folder was inside the kernel directory, that the distribution is kind of old, the packages are very old, and I could put just time and effort into dating everything and pull requesting, but that sounds boring. And the package manager is all source based, no precompiled. It is also grinding in Bash. There is no systemd either. You know what? Kind of a lot of things I just didn't quite like. I was like, yeah, this is not that great. So I decided, you know what? I am going to implement it on my own operating system on Utopia, but it's going to be different. Now, what is different is that in Utopia, you have a new folder in the file hierarchy named core. By the way, this is all documented, and you can check it out in the description. Yeah, I am going to link the book, the Utopia book, so you can read more about my ideas. There is core, which is going to contain the bootloader, the core binaries, and here is an interesting thing. The core binaries is an idea that basically, you know how you have bin sh or bin bash or bin ls? Those are binaries that I consider indispensable for the operating system, because without a shell for commands, without ls, without the possibility to link directories, list directories, the operating system feels useless, you know? So I decided that those are core binaries. So you might wonder, how are you, and we're also going to have a system index. You're probably not understanding anything of what I am saying. Because I am still learning to communicate my ideas over the camera. This is also going to be great for that. How are you going to, for example, let me grab a pen. I doubt you are going to be able to see anything. These are for university, but okay. So you know how the basic idea is you're going to have your directory, and we're going to have symlinks to like a symlink to another one. I don't know if you can see it. Like this is a directory and this is another. That is going to be the system index. So let's say this is bin. I'm going to write it bin, and this is system index bin. This is system index bin. So bin is going to point to system index bin, and system index bin is going to be a sync link farm to different applications that are installed on the operating system. Anyway, core is different. Core is not going to Core is not going to be managed by that symlink mechanism. Core is going to be updated independently. This is another thing I don't like about Linux currently, and it is that package managers upgrade core system components, and package managers can go so wrong, because I have experience with package managers, and they can go wrong in so many ways. That is crazy. Like, the minimum thing you do on the dependency circle is going to break the algorithm so hard, it is going to be unreal. That's a point to remember. So I want to have an updater, which is named winter updater, and well, that is going to be all. That is only going to update the core operating system, and I want to have winter that is going to update user installed software and applications. That's one idea. So basically, we are going to redo the file system hierarchy. And you can read more about it in the description. We're going to have boot as a sub. Well, we're going to have, for example, users are going to be living in user, and you know, things like that. That's one idea I have. Now we go with another idea I am going to do for Utopia. By the way, I'm going to stream the development. I'm going to record myself coding, and let's see. You're going to see how bad I am at it. Now I'm going to go with the global configuration database, which I called ANCO, which is from Spanish ancho, that it means wide, because it is system wide. Get it? Anyway, ANCO is going to be a configuration database, and you know how they say that in Unix you do one thing and do it well. Well, why does everyone keep re-implementing configuration files, .ini, .json, and they call these dot files? And the problem with dot files I personally have is, one, they clutter your home directory a lot. Like ls -a right now in your home directory, you're going to see so many dot files. And go to .config in your home directory, and it is crazy the amount of shit there is there. It is just a clusterfuck. And what? And they're talking about something. Sorry, and even then, writing. Wait, what? Yeah. And even then, my family broke. I don't know how these are named. Anyway, I'm going to eat it later. I don't know if you guys have it. Here in Mexico, they are known as cacahuate garampiñado. Well, I don't know how to say cacahuate in... No. Anyway. Sorry. So anyway, I want to make like a central server that dispatches configuration to processes that are requested, and these processes are going to be named, are going to be known as clients. That's one idea. All the details are on GitHub. This is more like an introduction to what I am going to do. And the other idea is Winter, that is going to be able to, if you have used a Mac, you know Homebrew, or if you have used Nix, if you have used Nix by no, it isn't by GNU. If you have used Nix project, you are going to know that you can have multiple versions of the same package, right? Well, Winter is going to be able to do the same. And everything is going to be so integrated with the operating system, it's going to feel like magic. Now, another thing, and I am probably a little bit clueless about it, and I know very poquito, sorry, I know very little about this, and it is about ELF. Now, I was a macOS user, so I was used to Macho, or Maco. You will pronounce it Macho, Match object, but I don't know if you guys pronounce it Maco, probably, I don't know. Macho. Macho object is, well, match object is kind of interesting for me. I like it a lot. The format for me is very intuitive, and I like how the headers and sections are structured. So I was like, you know what, let's do something crazy. Let's make how is this called? Let's make a Linux distro that uses Macho as a primary format, and this is going to have other advantages that I am going to talk about. Like, I want to implement, as crazy as it sounds, entitlements. I want to implement entitlements, all that good stuff from macOS. I want it here. Now, is it going to be source or binary compatible? No, I don't have that purpose in mind. I don't have that idea in mind. For that, you can see Darling project for Linux, and if you want the whole operating system be compatible, there is this thing called Airyx OS. I have talked with that creator, on Discord and on Twitter. She's very chill. She's very chill, whatever the fuck. She's very chill. She's a very nice person. Anyway, so that's a cool project. I want to use Macho, but I want only the format to be Macho, but the syscalls, the way that OS works is still Linux. And that is possible because Macho is just a binary format. And I also want to do a launch services implementation. Now, I love launch services. You know how you have this command named open in macOS, and you do open dot, and it opens Finder in the terminal. Like, if you are on the terminal and you do open dot, it opens Finder, and that's so cool. Or you do open file.txt, it opens a text editor you have declared as a default one. That's so cool, that's so interesting, and I want to implement that in Utopia. So I want launch services, a system-wide database, a highly integrated package manager, separate system updates, Macho format, a new file structure. That's another goal. A BSD userland with the BSD standard utilities. That means ls blah 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 blah. The BSD counterparts. I want the Muscle libc, a fork of it, because I'm going to have to port it to Macho using Clang. I finally said Clang. I used to say Clang. For a Mexican, it's kind of hard to understand. It's pronounced Clang. I want to do some crazy stuff, and I want to build it with you guys, with whoever is watching. And I just don't want to build myself. I just don't want to build the operating system. I want to build myself in this little project. It is not only about Utopia, the operating system. It's about my life Utopia. I want to have another chance. I want to do it. I want to have another chance. You know? I want to have another chance in life. I want to feel motivated again. I want to know there is more to life than this stupid virus. And if that's saying dumb shit on the internet, well, I'm recording myself saying shits that probably nobody understands because I can't explain myself about operating systems. That's good. That's great. I don't care. I don't care really. If my takes are bad, yeah. If I am clueless about operating system, yeah. I am clueless about programming, yeah. I am not a great programmer. I am not great at operating system development either. But that doesn't matter for me, because this isn't about showing how great I am and blah blah blah. This is about I want to document it myself on the internet. As stupid as it sounds, and if I regret, I don't care. I want to build something in public. I want to do something, and I want people to see it. I don't care if it is one user, 1 star on GitHub, because I am passionate about it. And I can feel the passion already of having an operating system that I dream about. And even if it's terminal only, even if it, despite using the Linux kernel, is useless on anything that is in a VM, I don't care, because it is my operating system. And it is my vision. And if someone likes it and says, you know what, I am going to contribute, I will be super grateful. But it is my passion. So I hope this is a good introductory video. It probably wasn't. Of Utopia. And I hope I can start recording soon of me coding myself, programming, and doing what I wanted to do forever, my own operating system. So I'm going to guess goodbye. That was cool. First little video on the internet on that Diego Magdaleno account. And thank you for listening if you are still here. That's amazing. It means a lot. And let's hope we can build something great. And we can show the Linux community something great. Or if I end up writing my own kernel, who knows? Let's do something small and great. Something with no pressures from companies, something with nothing, but just my passion and the desire to get out of this fucking pandemic without being a fat fuck that doesn't do anything in life. So let's do it. And if you are here, I am glad you want to follow along. And it is an honor to code for you, even if I don't know you. Because we're going to do great things. Because life isn't dark at all. And no matter how dark it is, there is this philosophy book named Man's Search for Meaning. And I am a believer that there is always meaning behind life. And if you find it, you will be free to do whatever you want. So that was a good introductory. Well, no, it's whatever. So I see you guys in the next video. I already have some of the topics already on GitHub. In the next video, I want to do, when I compile the toolchain, and then I have to compile software, that toolchain is adjusted to another path. So I need to use a grep and seed to replace that. Set to replace that stuff, replace the strings with a new path so they link correctly when I am doing a sysroot. You are going to see that soon when I record it. And after that, we are going to port libfetch from FreeBSD, which is a library to download stuff. We're going to port fetch, which is like a wget alternative. And after that, we're going to start porting the core utils. And then we are going to start working on the macho meme, because I have some progress on the kernel right now. It sucks. I want to do it correctly. I want to write a loader. We're going to write macho. We're going to complete and finish winter. We are also going to design Anko, eventually write Anko. We're going to do the launch services, which are going to maybe work with list. I don't know yet. We are going to decide what the init system is going to be. If I am crazy enough to port launchd maybe and add some match task to a Linux kernel. Who knows? Who knows what the future is going to be? But I know the future is going to be great. Bye.